The following incident was one of the most brutal crimes of India in the 90s. It was so brutal that some of the most seasoned homicide investigators were shocked at the brutality. This was the case of Naina Sahni, who was murdered in 1995. Viewers' discretion is advised. Naina Sahni was one of the 4 kids of Harbhajan Singh and Jaswant Kaur. From an early age she was very different from her siblings. She was very goal-oriented, very smart, very vocal and confident. Because of her personality she was very active in student politics in her university. When she graduated from Delhi University, she decided to pursue a career in transportation as a pilot. As she pursued her passion she parted from her first passion, which was politics. However, that did not last long, because in 1989 she became a secretary of the Girls' Campus of Youth Congress. While working at the Youth Congress, Naina met a man named Sushil Sharma. They both belonged to a middle-class family. Like Naina, Sushil was very fascinated by politics as well. Sushil was what we call street smart. He knew how to talk his way into things. He was very manipulative and was easily able to persuade people into anything. He only became friends with those who would benefit him in some way. In a way he became very popular amongst students. Now usually when someone becomes popular, they use this fame either for a good cause or they take advantage of the fame for their own benefit. In Sushil's case he became very arrogant and became involved in a gang within the university. He even bought a gun that he used to carry, which was often used to make others afraid of him. Even though Sushil wanted to pursue the career of politics, somewhere he did want to be an entrepreneur as well, because along with his friend Kishap they planned to open a restaurant. Moving forward to 1977. Due to his passion and hard work and a little bit of fear he had become a leader of Youth Congress. This is where Sushil and Naina met. They hit it off during the first meeting. Since they both shared similar passion and came from middle-class families and had similar upbringing, Naina and Sushil became closer day by day. They dated for many years while working hard on their careers, and in 1993 they both got married. Although they had not publicly announced their marriage. Allegedly, despite both being in politics and famous, apart from their immediate families no one was invited to their wedding. Sushil thought that by keeping the relationship private, he would be able to advance more in his career because he did not want to be perceived as a weak married man. Naina accepted the anonymity of their relationship, either because she loved him too much or that she thought it was a wise move. As time went on, the honeymoon phase faded. Things started to take a turn in Sushil and Naina's life. Allegedly, Sushil started having extramarital affairs with many females. He had many close friends that were female who he used to hang out with late at night, which Naina did not approve of. Since Naina had a strong personality and was not afraid of anyone, she used to confront Sushil about this. And they used to argue about this almost every single day. Even though Sushil had many extramarital affairs, he expected the opposite from Naina. He was very possessive of Naina. There are incidents where he had beaten up Naina for suspecting her. Incidents of locking Naina in a room. It is also said that Sushil paid his housemaid some extra cash to keep an eye on Naina and to tell him if she meets with any of her male friends. It had been 2 years of their marriage by that time, and their relation was still not public information. Naina was expected to stay home and have very limited access to the outside world. Naina went into a depression because of what she was being put through, until she met one of her ex, Matlub. Naina and Matlub started talking over the phone for hours and hours, while Sushil was not home. Somehow Sushil came to know about Matlub, and that day Naina and Sushil had their biggest fight of the relationship. Allegedly, one of the reasons why Naina used to talk with Matlub so much was because Matlub was trying to help Naina move to Australia. Something she had wanted to do for a while, as she desperately wanted to escape Sushil. On 2nd of July 1995, Naina was talking on the phone with Matlub, when suddenly Sushil came home. Naina hastily hung up the phone. But by then it was too late. Sushil had noticed her hang up the phone upon entering the home. Although Sushil did not say anything at that time to Naina. But as soon as Naina went to the kitchen, Sushil pressed the redial button on the landline. After one dial tone, Matlub answered the call on the other line. Sushil got furious and hung up the phone and went into the kitchen to confront Naina. There was a confrontation and argument over Naina having an affair with Matlub. As the argument was heating up, Sushil removed his gun from his pants and shot Naina point blank 3 times. One bullet went through Naina's head. One through her neck. And the third one missed Naina. After a few minutes, when Sushil realized what he did and came to his senses, he quickly went to check Naina's pulse. But it was too late. She was dead. Panicking and not knowing what to do with Naina's body, Sushil wrapped the body in a bed sheet and carried the body to his car's trunk and drove over to a lake nearby. His original plan was that he would dump the body in the lake. However, when he reached the lake, he noticed there were people around the lake. Since everyone knew who Sushil was, he could not dump the body there. So he thought of an alternate plan. Around 10:15 p.m. Sushil went to a restaurant named Bagia, which was owned by his friend. The same friend he had helped open the restaurant. After arriving at the restaurant, Sushil called the owner Keshav Kumar and asked him to close the restaurant and send all the patrons and employees home. He also confessed to Keshav that he killed his wife and needed to dispose of her body. Keshav was terrified after learning of Sushil's intentions. However, due to the fear of being the next victim, he agreed. Keshav and Sushil came up with a solution together. They were going to burn Naina's body in the tandoor oven of the restaurant. For those who don't know, tandoor oven is a clay oven that is used to make bread. The temperature of the tandoor can reach up to 480 degrees Celsius. Now the opening of this tandoor was not big enough to fit a body. So Sushil got a knife from the restaurant and started to cut his own wife's body into pieces. After cutting Naina's body into pieces, he dumped all the body pieces into the oven. The oven was not big enough or hot enough to burn the body quickly. So in panic, they both threw in all the papers they could find around the restaurant. Any combustible material they could find. They threw it inside the oven to burn the body quickly. Within a few minutes, the fire from the oven reached heights of up to 35 feet. The heat and smoke became so much that they were visible from the outside. During this time, 2 police constables were patrolling nearby. When they saw the smoke through the roof of the restaurant, they quickly rushed towards the restaurant. As they came knocking on the restaurant's main entrance, Sushil quickly went and stopped the officers from entering the restaurant. He told the officers that the smoke was due to Sushil burning all the old paperwork and political banners that were old and of no use. Now, this was 1995 and the crime rate was not as much as it is today. The officers believed Sushil and left the property, after telling Sushil to control the smoke. Sushil took a sigh of relief that he may be getting away with the murder, and quickly went back to the kitchen where Keshav was. Soon after the officers left, Sushil started dumping even more combustible items to finish the burning of Naina's body. This resulted in even more higher flames, more visible from the outside. One of the passers-by saw the smoke and feared the restaurant was on fire. The passerby started shouting for anyone to call the police. Within minutes, the restaurant was surrounded by police and fire trucks. Because the front door was locked and lights were off, the officers went to the back of the restaurant and climbed inside through one of the back wall. After climbing inside, the officers approached the tandoor oven and saw Sushil and Keshav standing beside it. After inquiring what was going on, Sushil told the officers the same story he told the previous officers. However, this time the officers were also smelling the burning smell of meat, and not of paper or banners as Sushil was claiming. After extinguishing the fire, the officers looked inside the oven and to their horror, they saw a dead body, badly burned and cut into pieces. Officers quickly arrested Keshav, as he was the closest to the oven. After realizing what was going to be his fate, Sushil ran away from the restaurant. During Keshav's interrogation, he confessed that the victim was Naina, Sushil's wife, and that Sushil had killed her and brought her dead body to the restaurant that night to get rid of the evidence. Police quickly stormed to Sushil's and Naina's residence, where they found some gun casing and a pool of blood. Even though Naina's body was burned beyond recognition, the police called Naina's family over for identification. Even Naina's own parents could not recognize her. At the end, with the help of DNA, it was concluded that this was Naina's dead body. After being on the run for just a few days, on 10th July, Sushil turned himself to the police. After a lengthy trial and great work from Indian police, Sushil was convicted of first-degree murder and was given the death penalty. Eventually, the Supreme Court converted the death penalty to life imprisonment. On December 22, 2018, Sushil was released, citing his good behavior. Ironically, today Sushil runs his own marriage counsel business and advises other couples on how to resolve their disputes. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to get notification for all future narrations.